What is up, everybody? Sam here with BFPGear.com, and today we're going to show you how to take your old Halo 2 loader, or if you have a Halo B that's still, kicking and screaming, as long as it's got the 4 AA battery pack, well, now you can get all those cool toolless features that are found on newer loaders with the Halo 2 Pro shell kit. It is quite a bit of a process to take all of your internals out of your old Halo loader and pop it into the Halo Pro shell. So you are going to need a handful of tools. I've got Allen keys here just in case, and then you are going to need a small flathead screwdriver and then a Phillips head screwdriver as well. But with that said, we're going to crack open the Halo Pro shell kit here and take a look at what you get, and then we're going to show you how to take all of the guts out of your old Halo loader and pop it into the Pro shell. We're going to see you after the intro. All right, so we've got our Halo Pro loader shell kit here. So let's go ahead and just just open it up and see what you get here. So looks like we've got this retainer piece with the screw and then the shell itself. So looks like you're going to be getting that toolless design just initially here, and then you can see that this is just solidified, like there's no gap or anything where your batteries go. So changing out your batteries won't be as fast as with like the previous shell, which we'll look at here, but you do get that speed feed and the rain lid built in, which is pretty cool. And then it just comes apart here pretty easy. And then all of your electronics just go right in here, battery harness right in the front there. But let's go ahead and put the kit off to the side here. And we're definitely gonna need all these parts. There's like a screw in this little bag, and this looks like a board harness, and this looks like this just snaps in to here. So I assume we're gonna need to do a little bit of surgery here. So let's put these off to the side, and let's grab our Halo 2, and let's do a little bit of surgery here. So we're gonna take all the guts out of this and transfer it into that other shell. So for starters, I like to try to knock the more difficult thing out of the way, and that is down here on the RIP drive. There's this little C-clip, E-clip, and it just kind of swings around a little bit. We do need to remove that so we can slide the little RIP drive off, and then it'll just be easier to install into the Pro shell. That's where your flathead's going to come into play. And you're going to see that there's like little gaps, like kind of in where the C-clip is. And you just kind of take the flathead here and just kind of rotate it a little bit until it kind of stops, and then just keep rotating. And it just gives you a little bit of leverage here to kind of slowly slide off the clip. So just snap right back on, but it's kind of hard to like gauge how it feels, because if you try to like just kind of get a little bit of leverage on it to like go underneath and try to take the thing off, it has this high potential of bending and messing up some of the parts around. Oh, there we go. And in doing so, if this gets like bent or you mess up the metal down here, then that means this little guy won't be able to slide off. So now that we have that off, we don't need to worry about it. Now your Phillips head screwdriver is going to come into play. And there's all these screw holes on the side of the shell here, and we're going to undo all of them, but there is one more underneath the battery door. So let's go ahead and just loosen these up, and then you're not really going to need these screws anymore after that. So let's see, that should be... But this part, again, we're going to be doing a lot of like tedious work here, but yeah, once you do this, you're probably not doing this ever again, especially when you upgrade to like a sweet toolless shell loader that already has a speed feed and a rain lid built in. So it's not a bad way to go. feel everything kind of loosening up here. Let's just check. Yeah, all right, it's starting to move a little bit. And, but getting the C clip out of the way, C clip, E clip, whatever it's called, getting that out of the way first is definitely great. So let's go ahead and remove. Oh, piece of foam fell out. Let's get the battery door out. And then there's this last screw right here. This one comes off pretty easy. There we go. Pops off. And now we should just be able to split the loader in half here. Just give it a little time. Oh, I think there's still one screw that's not completely out yet. Oh, let's check this one too. No, I think we're good. Are we good? Oh, I should probably open the lid, huh? There you go. All right, there you go. Step one, open the lid. All right, so I don't want to lose any of my screws or anything here, so I'm just gonna move that half of the shelf to the side. But as you can see, we now have our motor, we got the battery harness, and then we have the board and like this plate. So what I'm gonna do first here is I'm actually gonna remove the guts. And then the board is plugged in with a 4-pin connector right down here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just unplug that because we are gonna need to stack these a certain way to install into our new shell. And we've got our motor here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put the motor off to the side, and then we're not gonna need this half of the shell anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our Pro shell here. Pop comes right there, top comes off, tray comes out, and we've got everything here. And there's these slats. They might be hard to see because the loader is all black, but there's these 3 different slats that everything kind of rests in. So the board goes into the back slat here. This plate goes into the front, and then that piece that we saw in the bag here, this one, goes in the middle. And this just kind of like holds and retains everything in place. And it does have a little screw, so I'll put the screw to the side. And then let's go ahead and align everything here. So it should go board, this like retainer locking piece, and then the button just has this gap right here. You just kind of cover the actual button with it, and you do have some space to work with here, so that's good. And then comes the fun part of lining everything up. And it can be a little difficult. So let's go ahead and get the retainer piece lined up here, which will go in between. Let's get the board lined up. All right, so the board's lined up. This retainer piece is now also lined up. And I should have enough space here because you see the button kind of pops out a little bit. So I got enough space to work with here. And I need to fit the plate. This kind of reminds me of building a PC a little bit. All right, and now everything is kind of in place. I'm just gonna push all these pieces down, and they just kind of line up with one another. And then just to test our work a little bit, I'm gonna push the button here, and you can hear that we're pushing the button. So we are good to go. Now we need to lock that center black piece in, and we just do that with the screw that was provided, which is right down here at the bottom. Yeah, I don't want to like forcibly thread that in. All right, so it's sitting straight up. And this is probably going to be the most difficult part of the assembly here. But if you're comfortable with like, you know, maybe building PCs or, you know, messing around with some electronics, you know, or if you do like any kind of like electronic repair, like this is going to be pretty easy for you. And like I said, when you do this, like you're never doing this again. All right, make sure that's locked in place there. Oh yeah, that's not moving at all. So this still sits like a little loose, but that is okay because the button's still there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that little Velcro strap there, we're gonna undo that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just place our battery harness in. And then we take our motor and everything just kind of slides into place. And there are little slats here where the raceway, this motor just lines up perfectly. And you are all good to go there. And then I like to keep the wires kind of, let's keep them off to the side here. And the nice thing too is that the plate that this comes with, that will cover all this, will cover all of your electronics in your motor. So that way you don't need to worry about, you know, any kind of like dirt, debris, or moisture, you know, getting all up in your business here and corroding anything. So, but now I'm going to go ahead and just get this out of the way. Let's go ahead and reinstall the RIP drive and that clip. And the clip can be a little difficult to put on. If it is, I kind of like to use like the flat side of like an Allen key to try and do that, but look at that, nailed it. And you can tell that your work is good because you can move the RIP drive. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and let's get our tray in there. So front part hooks in first, and then this back piece here has a little hook and it just hooks right in, and now all of your electronics are covered. So they are good to go. And then, last but not least, we're going to go ahead and put our top shell on. So now that we have that button that's installed, this should just slide right over and boom, everything's locked in place. And now it's just time for us to go test our work. So I'm going to go get some batteries, pop them in, and then we're just going to power on the Halo 2 with the Pro Shell. And yeah, we're just going to test our work. And there you go. You have now taken the guts of your Empire Halo 2, or if you had one of the old Halo B loaders that had the 4 AA battery pack, and you transferred everything into the Halo Pro Shell kit. This kit is really nice. I mean, they look good. They feel good once everything is installed and in place. Like, I feel like if this loader gets shot, I know some loaders tend to split in half, but this thing is super secure. Like, even just pulling on this thing, like, I don't see the shell move at all. It is locked very securely in place by that centerpiece that you install down here. And just a quick little note too, don't forget to plug your electronics back in, because once you slide in those 3 plates, if you try to put the motor in, it can be a little difficult to plug in your 4-pin connector. You can do it preemptively, but then it makes it a little awkward to try and get everything back in place. But once you do, it's super easy. You just tap that button and it just powers on immediately. But what we're going to do is we really need to test our work, and we're going to show you how fast these bad boys are. So I'm going to grab some paint and a tank and a gun, and we're going to go let this bad boy rip. All right, we've got our Pro Shell kit installed here for the Halo loader. And then one other thing that I do want to go over that I think is really cool here is on the inside, there's actually this little red tab, and you can actually just push that in to lock the button in place so it doesn't move, which I think is sweet. Got a little bit of marbleizer in there, but it's time to shoot. All right. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Halo loaders are fast. Holy smokes, dude. Halo loaders are incredibly fast. Like, I don't think you're out shooting this loader anytime soon, but now you've upgraded your Halo loader and you got all the sweet toolless features. And if you need to pick up your Halo Pro Shell kit, well, you can do that right now on BFPGear.com. This man is dead. Bang.